Hi guys, so this is our core activation / strengthening session, all about activating into that deep core. Really important that we're thinking about activating, drawing up and in through our pelvic floor. As we're doing this, take your time, don't rush, and make sure you're breathing. We definitely don't want to be holding our breath while we're trying to activate through our pelvic floor. So the first exercise that we've got is a dead bug. Feel free to get yourselves a mat or whatever to do this. I prefer to be flat on the floor because I can really feel the control through my hips and my back. So we're starting laying on our back with this one. From here, my hands are above my chest. My shoulders are dropped down and away from my ears. I'm not pulling them right up high. My knees are coming up over the top of my hips. Now what we want to do is bring them in just a little bit so we can keep that back nice and flat on the floor. From here, it's a little bit hard to see with the wall, but my toes are tucked, not pointed, and we're really imagining when we're doing this that we're driving through with our heel, like we're potentially pushing a box with our feet. From here, I'm breathing in, driving away with my heel, breathing out, coming back together. As I'm doing this, my back is staying glued onto the floor. I'm not rounding and rolling away through my pelvis. So that's super important. Even before we start, make sure that back is glued to the floor. I'm breathing in, extending, opposite arm, opposite leg, breathing out, coming back together. Breathing in, extending, driving with that heel, breathing out, pushing down through my mid-region, coming back together. Breathing in, breathing out, drawing up and in through my pelvic floor, pushing down with my mid-region. Dropping those ribs right down in towards the floor. If you find, as you're doing this, that as you're taking that leg away, your back is rolling, we shouldn't be able to get our hands underneath our back, then you want to send your leg a little bit higher. So I'm breathing in, sending my foot high, still driving with my heel, breathing out, coming back together. Breathing in, extending, breathing out, coming back together. So with this and with any ab movement, the closer we are to the floor, the harder the exercise is. So if you're struggling, go high. Keep your back nice and flat. Breathe out, come back together. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, come back together. Our next exercise that we've got is our core squeeze. So we're staying in this position. My knees are just over the top, inside, my hips. They're not touching though. I've got a bit of a gap, so they're hip distance apart. For our core squeeze, we're working on literally, as it sounds, squeezing and driving everything down in towards the floor. From here, my palms are going onto my knees. I'm tucking my chin, lifting my shoulder blades off the floor. My legs are strong here because I'm going to be pushing, so we don't want to just push them away. Keep that pelvis tucked. Take a big breath in, breathe out, push down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Breathe in. And our goal is to breathe and stay, but we can, as I did in that first demo, lower, reset, go again. But you'll instantly feel yourself shaking, squeezing, pushing those abs down in towards the floor. So we're staying here for our designated amount of breaths. Still drawing up and in with that pelvic floor. Remember, if you need to make it easier, relax. And then refresh, breathe out. And go up and down in between every movement. Our next exercise after that is our glute bridge. I'm just popping my feet onto the floor. Shoot me up a little bit closer. My feet are onto the floor. In nice and close to my bum. My knees are still hip distance apart. From here, I'm driving my heels down into the floor. My neck and upper body is nice and relaxed. Squeezing my butt. My hips are staying tucked here, lowering back down. So my hips are tucked. I'm squeezing and lifting through that bum. You should be able to feel those muscles activating. So lowering down, making sure that pelvis is tucked. Back's nice and flat on the floor before we start. Squeeze and lift. So lowering down, keeping that pelvis nice and tucked, squeezing and lifting. If my pelvis isn't tucked, I can overextend. If I keep my pelvis tucked, then we're getting a nice line from knees, hips to shoulders, not overextending and pushing that pelvis too far into the air. Squeeze and lift. Our next exercise that we've got, we're staying in this same position. My pelvis is tucked, my back is glued nice and flat onto the floor. As you can see here, there's no space, there's no light underneath there. From here, I'm super simple. I'm breathing in, I'm sliding my foot out and away from my body, keeping that nice control through my pelvis, breathing out, drawing up and in through my pelvic floor, coming back together. Breathing in, breathing out. As we're doing this, I'm keeping my hands on my hips, making sure that my pelvis isn't rolling. So we're not rolling out, coming back together, rolling out, coming back together, staying nice and flat. After our feet slide away, we just go into our knee fall out. So same position, pelvis tucked, back flat. From here, I'm taking a breath in. I'm letting my knee drop out to the side, breathing out, coming back up together, drawing up and in with my pelvic floor. Breathing in, letting that knee fall out, breathing out, coming back together. Same thing here, hands on my hips. I'm making sure as I'm dropping my knee out, I'm breathing out, coming back together, but my hips aren't rolling. So we're not rolling. As I'm dropping my knee out, I'm not letting that opposite hip come up off the floor. So nice and controlled, same thing with all weight, as I said before, with all the movements. If you're struggling with it, to keep that control, just keep the movement shorter. Breathing in, breathing out, coming back together. Breathing in, breathing out, coming back together. And then the last movement that we've got is just a single leg glute bridge. So I'm bringing my foot nice and close to my butt. My pelvis is tucked. You can either pop your foot up on top of your knee or you can just send it towards the ceiling, whatever you prefer. Then we're just squeezing, driving my heel down into the floor, squeezing and lifting. Squeeze and lift, really focusing on, for me at the moment, my right leg, squeezing in through my right butt cheek. All we do after that is refresh, tuck that pelvis, flatten that back, squeeze and lift. Lowering down, nice and controlled, squeeze and lift. Using your breath, I should have said with that one, as you're breathing out and lifting up off the floor. Good luck. As always, if you need any further information, please let me know. Thanks.